For today's video, you will need 3 fat quarters, sewing clips, your ear loops, a nose wire, your patterns for both your face mask and your filter pocket, and a rotary cutter. We're now going to begin by cutting out our pattern. I just cut out both the front and the back at the same time. You should now have the front and back of your face mask cut out. We're going to go ahead and set this to the side, and we're going to start with our filter pocket. Now you're going to take your fabric, you're going to fold it in half, take your pattern, place that on top, and cut on the fold. So you're just going to place the 2 arrows on where you folded the fabric. Just go ahead and go up with your rotary cutter. If you have a pair of scissors, that's fine as well. And across. Now that we have our front, our back, and our filter pocket cut out, we're going to go ahead and set aside the front and the back to your mask. We're going to go back to this filter pocket. You're going to open it up, turn it about 1/4 inch, and we're going to go ahead and press this on both sides. Now that we've got this pressed, we're going to go ahead and take it over to our machine, and we're just going to go ahead and sew along the edges so that it won't come undone. All right, we're going to go ahead and get this on our machine, and we're going to sew along this long edge. Do the same thing to the other side. So just flip your filter pocket here. Now that we're done sewing the filter pocket, we're going to go ahead and fold it in half. And we're going to take the top side of our fabric, make sure the right sides are together, and we're going to clip the top. And keep in mind that your filter pocket is shorter than the mask, so you'll need to manipulate it to get it on there. We're going to go ahead and slide this to the bottom, and again, clip it. I just clip mine in 3 places. Then we're going to go ahead and take the base of our face mask, which is the backing. We're going to go ahead and lay that down on there, and we're going to clip this to it as well. We'll do the same thing at the top. Go ahead and just move our clips around a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to take this back over to our machine. We're going to leave one edge free and open so that we can turn our face masks. So we're actually going to start at one of these edges and work our way up and around and down. You'll need to manipulate the fabric as you go so it will lay flat. And we're going to leave the bottom edge open so we can turn it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and slide this onto my machine. And again, I'm starting at one of the corners for the angle. And you're going to have to manipulate your fabric as you go to make sure that it lays flat. Just come right up to this edge and turn your fabric. this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You're gonna have to move this clip a little bit so that you can get your fabric to lay flat so that you can come up this edge now. And we're gonna go ahead and go up the top edge. Again, I'm manipulating my fabric as I go to make sure it lays flat. Okay. Moving my fabric again. All right, now we're going to go ahead and do 2 more sides. One and 2. All right. Now that we have finished the 7 sides and left the 8th side open, we're going to go ahead and turn our fabric. So you just want to take this whole thing, you want to turn it inside out, making sure that your corners are nice and crisp. Now we're going to go ahead and grab our nose wire. This is the back of our face mask. Grab your nose wire, find out where the center is, go up inside of the mask, place it in. And you can feel it in here. And you're going to go ahead and take your sides and just roll those in just so that you can make sure that the ends are matching. And they are. So we'll go ahead and take this back over to our machine. We're going to sew down our nose wire, so just this center portion. Now we've got this back on our machine. We're going to go ahead and say or press your foot down, sew forward about 3 or 4 stitches, and back to secure it. 1, 2, 3. 4, and then we're going to turn our fabric, making sure that your nose wire stays flush against the edge of the fabric. And then we're going to sew down, feeling for the end of your nose wire. We're going to go ahead and come up on this edge. All right, now we're going to top stitch the mask. We're going to go ahead and pull this around, making sure that your corners are nice and crisp. Now we're going to go ahead and pause here because we need to actually turn our mask in and secure your filter pocket. All right, so I just went ahead and took this off the machine. I stopped with my top stitching, and we're gonna go ahead and turn this mask in. I'm gonna kind of hold it in place, grab your filter pocket and tuck it up and underneath that flap. And go ahead and secure this in. So it should now look like this. Now we're going to go ahead and take this back over to our machine. We're going to finish our top stitching, seal this edge up, go all the way around and finish our top stitching. All right, so now that we're back at our machine, we're gonna go ahead and finish up this top stitching. the very corner. And we're going to turn our fabric, and we'll need to release this first clip. And we're just going to go ahead and sew along this edge to seal up our face mask. Removing our clips as we go along. Around to where we started. Go ahead and release this from the machine. Now that we've got this off of our machine, we're going to go ahead and take the right side of our face mask, which has the nose wire, and we're going to go ahead and fold this about a 1/4 inch overlap. And we're going to make sure that our filter pocket is out of the way. Now we're going to go ahead and put our elastics in. This is going to house our elastic, that little bit of 1/4 inch overlap. So you're going to go ahead and put one side in, clip it, go to the other side of your fabric, and you're going to go ahead and take that one side, put it in and clip it. And then we're going to turn our mask so that we're on the base now, which is going to be our chin line. Remember to keep your filter pocket out of the way at all times. And go ahead and do the same thing, about a 1/4 inch overlap on both right and left side. And we're going to take the other part of our elastic, and we're going to go ahead and put this right in that little crease. Again, this is going to house our elastic for us and secure it. Now we're going to take this over to our machine. We can go ahead and flap this over right now. We're going to sew along this edge just in line with our top stitching to secure our elastics in place on both the right and left side. All right, now we're back at our machine, and we're just going to go ahead and sew along that free edge again, just securing in our elastics and their nice little housing. Remove your clips as you go, just in line with the top stitching. All right, we'll go ahead and remove this. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to go ahead and pull this off the machine. Perfect. Now that we've got this off our machine, we're going to go ahead and open these flaps. We're going to have actually the top side where our nose wire is, we're going to keep this folded. Make sure that your filter pocket is out of the way. You're going to go ahead and just top stitch along this edge. And then we're going to flip our filter pocket, open it, and do the same thing along this edge. All right, so we've got this under our machine now. We're just going to go ahead and sew across for your top stitching. We're going to take this side and we're going to flap it over so that our filter pocket does not get sewn down inside of the mask. And we're just going to go ahead and sew along the bottom side now of our fabric, making sure that your elastics and your filter pocket are not in the way. Now we're gonna go ahead and take this over to our workstation. All right, now that we've got this off our machine, it should look like this. I just went ahead and flapped it open. Now we're going to do our turns on our corners. So we're just going to simply take our fabric, just like this, make sure your filter pocket is out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and fold this down and back to make a straight line. And down and back again to do a straight line. This is going to help create the cage shape of this 3D Singers mask. So now it should look like this. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Turn your fabric in and back. In and back. Now, once we get this clipped, we're going to go ahead and take it back over to our machine, so it should now look like this. And we're going to sew along this edge just to close this up. Now that we've got this back over at our machine, we're going to go ahead and release the first clip. Get this under your presser foot. Back stitch a little. We're just going to go straight across. We're going to release our second clip. Release our fabric. And we're going to do the same thing to the right side. I'm just going to go ahead and release the one clip here. I'll put this under our sewing machine. Sometimes your fabric will go ahead and let go a little bit. Just go ahead and put it back in place. Put your presser foot down. We'll go ahead and release the second clip. All right, we're going to go ahead and clip our strings to get this all finished off. All right, so this is our finished face mask. We'll go ahead and take a look at the inside as well. We've got our filter pocket. All right, filter pocket. We've got our edges that have been turned. This is what they should look like. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is what our finished face mask should look like.